Hello again, and welcome to another Practica Tango Tips. In the last couple of weeks, we talked about how we can use our spinal rotation, specifically our thoracic rotation, to invite our partner to take a forward step or a back step. We've also introduced the three-legged walking technique as a way of stopping our action in midair, or mid-stride or mid-movement, so that we can study our relationship between us and our partner more easily. In these examples in the last couple of weeks, we did a simple example of taking everything pretty much in line. And so you may be asking yourself, well, what happens when we're outside partner or if we're inside partner? Well, let's look at some definitions first. So let's pretend that this chair is my partner. If I am in line with my partner, what that means is that my partner and I are right in front of each other, our feet are right in front of each other, our shoulders are in a square formation. If I am outside partner, then it means that we're going to be to the right side of each other. So she is on my right side, and I'm on her right side. So this position is called outside partner. Now, inside partner is going to be on the left side. So here, my partner's on the left side of me, and she's on my left side, and this is called inside partner. So we have inside partner, outside partner, and inline. Today, we're going to talk about going from inline to outside or inside. So first, let's take a look at the video from last week with Alex taking me to the cross.
When the man is outside partner, the figure known as walking to the cross or the Cruzada refers to the woman crossing her left leg in front of her right leg as she moves to be in line with the man.
Let's take a look at how Alex takes himself outside partner. If you notice, Alex uses his thoracic rotation to go outside partner. He doesn't simply go sideways. If he did that, look at our shoulders relative to my partner. Here we're more in a parallelogram rather than a square. And also, in this position, I'm basically asking my partner to really dance with my armpit instead of with me. And that's not really a nice thing to ask your partners to do. Instead, as Alex goes sideways, he moves his thoracic so that it's aligned with my shoulders, so that it keeps our shoulders in line. And this chair was a real person, and that person, we do the same thing, so that even if we're outside partner, we're still dancing with each other. Our attention is toward each other. Okay? So let's look at that specific movement. If we're standing here with our weight, all on our, say, 1 foot here, and if I keep everything relaxed and only turn my thoracic, you will notice that the lumbar, and you can try this yourself at home, will have a tendency to go with you. That's not what we want. And so what happens? Well, you may have a teacher that says, oh, keep your hips still. Yeah. But in order to keep your hips still, well, there are a couple of ways you can do it. But in order to keep your hip really facing the direction you want to go, what you really want to do is, you have your thoracic, is to actually rotate your lumbar in the opposite direction. Okay? So as you're doing the thoracic this way, clockwise, you'll send your lumbar counterclockwise. And it's pretty seamless here. That is a more efficient way of trying to just keep your hips still. Let's look at what happens after you take that initial side step. So here's the side step, and what's going to happen next, this leg, right, is the one that goes forward. To bring this leg forward, what do you need? This spinal rotation. So you're going to have that anyway. So rather than just go sideways, you might as well just start setting up that spinal rotation. Here's the thoracic, here's the lumbar, because you're going to be doing that movement anyway. So here we have back, side, and look, this hip already wants to come forward in that direction. Women, you should be doing the same thing too here. When you are feeling your partner is going off to the side and you feel him start turning his shoulders, then you, as the woman, should be turning your shoulders as well, because your job is what? Is to stay in front of his chest. His chest is what tells you where to go, and that should be your reaction. When he starts turning his thoracic, you should be turning yours to face him as well. But the same thing goes for you regarding your hips. As he turns this way, as he comes to this side of you, and you're turning this way, well, what happens with the contrabody, right? This shoulder starts heading back there, which starts inviting this leg to go back.
Rotating the hips counterclockwise will keep them straight as the ribcage rotates clockwise. Once we are outside partner, we take 2 steps in the line of dance. You can see the contrabody in our first step, but in our second step, the shoulder and leg on the same side are moving together, indicating a homolateral movement.
Moving in a homolateral position is fine. After all, we do this all the time, every time we just take a straight side step together. Right? Where Alex and I are at now is basically a side step, only it's just pivoted. One of the conventions of walking outside partner in tango is that the woman is expected to go to the cross. So in other words, the woman is in this open position here, you know, dancing the woman's robe, and the man wants her left leg to come in front like this so that they can be in line and that the shoulders are then square. Let's look at how Alex invites this.
Since Alex is using his chest to indicate where he wants me, he invites the cross by letting his ribcage return in line with his hips.
We'll talk more in detail about some of the issues that come up regarding walking to the cross. As far as our contrabody and homolateral and contrabody movements go, well, the facts for the ladies that you are in a homolateral position should be your first clue that he'll want you to go to the cross. And that is, he'll want you to put your left leg in front of where he's asking you to go here. Remember, ladies, your job as the woman is to keep up with him. A way of looking at it is that he's always trying to break the connection, and you have to get in front of him. You have to make that reconnection. So that's one way of thinking about it. So when he comes this way, we have a connection. When he takes his next step, we have a connection. When he has that next step here, yeah, we have a connection, but we really want this connection, okay? Of coming from here to here. The same spinal rotation applies when you're going inside partner as well. So rather than just turning this thoracic counterclockwise, you'll also want to bring your lumbar clockwise. So from here to here. And you'll notice my hips are still facing the direction I want to go, even though my thoracic is turned toward my partner. That's all the time we have for today. But the main point I want you to keep in mind is that in order to move your thoracic, either counterclockwise or clockwise, and to keep your hips still, you really want to think about letting your lumbar go in the opposite direction of your partner. And you'll find that it's going to be true when you start doing things like staccatos, or even actually any type of roadshow. That's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.